Honestly, no one's expecting to see that. So, really nice showing, especially missing your star center in that game. Oh,
Welcome to Ann Arbor, Michigan, as myself, Kelin, Flynn, and Zach Balogh would like to welcome you to Michigan men's basketball, WCBN's coverage, as the Wolverines get ready to take on the Terrapins of Maryland. Zach, how are you today?
I am great. How about you?
I'm doing well myself. Starting lineups were just introduced. Notably in the lineup tonight for the Wolverines, big man Hunter Dickinson.
Yeah, it's a huge get, especially he was out last game against Illinois due to fitness issues. He's a star player of this Michigan men's basketball team, so it's exciting to get him back.
Both teams not on a hot streak, so to say. The Terrapins dropping 4 of their last 5, including a home loss recently to Rutgers. The Wolverines recently losing on the road to Illinois in a hard-fought game that got a little out of hand, out of stretch. But the Wolverines without multiple key players in that game, like we mentioned, Hunter Dickinson. What's the game plan for the Wolverines to get back on track tonight?
Really try to get Hunter Dickinson back involved, get his feet wet, get him going, see how they can do. They should have an advantage down low against this game against this Maryland team. So really feed the post, try to get him going. And then try to really get the guard play up and going, especially from the perimeter, because they've been struggling in three-point shooting.
Yes, neither team has shot the three-point ball exceptionally well so far this season. The Terrapins starting 5 tonight. Number 4, Fats Russell at point guard. Number 5, Eric Ayala at guard. Number 13, Hakeem Hart. Number 24, Dante Scott Jr. Dante Scott. And number 33, Qudus Wahab. Wahab was out of the starting lineup against Rutgers. Back in the starting lineup tonight, the Georgetown transfer. Looks to get some size in there against big man Hunter Dickinson. We are moments away from tip-off here at the Crisler Center, the house that Kazi built. The Maze Rage is bumping. A little towel giveaway tonight, jersey giveaway. Fans are ready to go. All the players on the court for the Wolverines. It's been the typical starting lineup of Jones, Brooks, Houston, and Diabate, the freshman duo. And of course, Hunter Dickinson manning the middle. And the official heading towards center court as we await the tip. And it's knocked back to Brooks as the Wolverines win the tip. Devontae Jones will move the ball around the perimeter. It's Dickinson at the top of the key. Looking to create. Finds Jones. Dickinson diving to the basket.
Nice
puts
pass
it
down
up
low.
and in. Hunter Dickinson getting a hot start back as the Wolverines have sorely missed him. And on the attack here are the Terrapins.
Another thing the Wolverines been struggling this year has been defense. See if they can improve that on that tonight.
Terrapins probing. Wolverines playing great defense so far. They get it inside to Scott. Scott on the fall away. It's good.
Nice shot contest by Musa.
Well defended there by Diabate, but it doesn't matter. Scott on the baseline gets it to drop. And Jones on the other end will look to get something going. It's Brooks inside to Dickinson. The Terrapins double. Back out to Caleb Houston. He'll shoot a wing 3. It's good.
It's awesome to see from Caleb. He's been like 2 for 18 from the 3-point line last couple games, so nice to see one go in early for him.
Caleb Houston able to rain one in from deep. 3-point shooting has been an issue at times for the Wolverines. And when they double Dickinson, you have to be able to knock down the long ball.
Yeah. Dickinson really needs space down low to operate. In order to do that, you need to be able to shoot from the perimeter, which the Wolverines haven't been able to do.
Working on Dickinson. Goes up. Great interior D by Dickinson. Terrapins get the friendly roll as it bounces in for 2. Devontae Jones, top of the key. Wolverines bring some motion. Brooks with it on the wing, looking for Dickinson on the post-up. Dickinson has it. Looking. Diabate gets position inside on Scott. Diabate up. Short, rebounded by Scott. Scott will push it up the floor. Wolverines defend the transition nicely.
Honestly, Diabate's got to finish that inside position, but really still a freshman, still trying to get his strength up, so that'll improve with time.
And Great defense there by Diabate as Eric Ayala, the senior guard, one of the top players for the Terrapins, is called for a traveling violation, unable to get anything going in the post. And the Wolverines will look to capitalize on the turnover. Again, it's into Dickinson. Again, it's a double. And again, it's Diabate. This time he's able to finish.
Good
through
job.
The contact.
Really nice cut by Diabate.
And it's Ian Martinez into the game for the Terrapins at the top of the key. He'll pass it to Xavier Green. And this time it's inside to Wahab. He'll post up Dickinson. Dickinson not having any of it. Great defense by Dickinson, and he's able to rebound the miss from the Georgetown transfer. Brooks will push.
Center possession is one of the advantages the Wolverines have in this game. Maryland's starting center is kind of undersized for a center.
And Jones probing, floater. It's good. Devontae Jones with the little floater from the block.
It's awesome to see Jones looking for his own shot early on, too.
Wolverines up 9-4 early, 16:50 left in the first half. And it's inside to Scott. Diabate defending. Scott backing him down. Pump fake. And it's passed back out. Eric Ayala with it at the top of the key. Wahab called for a traveling violation. Second one early in this game for the Terrapins. Costly turnovers. And head coach Danny Manning cannot be happy.
Honestly, we haven't seen that a lot from the Wolverines, that high trap up there. Try to put some pressure on the ball handler of the opposing team. Really interesting to see that.
Yeah, Juwan Howard knows that this is not a tremendous three-point shooting team, so you can get away with bringing some doubles and getting back a little bit late with the team that can't shoot particularly well from deep.
Dickinson, nice.
Airballs the hook shot. It will
I thought that was going to be a nice offensive rebound there by Diabate, but yeah.
Wolverines bringing in some full court pressure here as Jones will pick up number 23, Ian Martinez, from full court.
I think the full court press is really just trying to slow down the opposing offense, try to make it harder for them, less time on the offensive side to get plays set and score.
And it's Green attacking. Foul called on the Wolverines. I believe that's on Caleb Houston, number 22. And speaking of head coach Danny Manning, the Terrapins went through a bit of a coaching crisis, so to say, with their former head coach opting out and resigning at the very, very beginning of the season. Danny Manning steps in. Mark Turgeon, that would be the former coach. Danny Manning steps in and has to try to guide this team through success in one of the best conferences in college basketball.
Yeah, honestly, it's a really difficult position for him to be in, especially when your head coach just resigns on you last minute. Honestly, for both these teams, it's been a little bit disappointing season. I think both these teams are supposed to be mid/up. For Michigan point, it's supposed to be top of the Big Ten. Both have been a little bit disappointing this year, struggling a little bit more than people thought, but Wolverines are looking to get back into it with a win against Maryland tonight, so hopefully they can do that.
Yeah, and Zach, like you mentioned, these are two teams that were expected to be in the upper half of the Big Ten, especially the Wolverines. And when some people talk about the Big Ten being a down conference this year, not one of the elite conferences in college basketball, it's because it seems like the Wolverines were that team that was expected to be dominant. And Purdue has definitely stepped up and been a very dominant team, but just having another one of those top dogs like Michigan would really elevate the Big Ten into that upper echelon this year like they were last year.
Yeah, the last couple of years it's been Michigan, Michigan State's, and Ohio State's league, maybe here and there, Wisconsin. So
obviously,
it's
Iowa making a run these past couple of seasons.
Yeah,
and
Iowa's
Illinois
been really good
making
too.
A big jump recently.
But yeah, it's been a real surprise. Purdue's hasn't been exactly the top of the top, but they've been a pretty good basketball program in their history. So honestly, they're not a surprise.
No, Purdue was expected to be one of the best teams in the country this year when you have the duo up front that they do, the size that they do, and then obviously Jaden Ivey on the perimeter, going to be one of the top guard picks in this year's NBA draft, definitely a lottery pick.
Honestly, the two of the surprises in the Big Ten this year has been Wisconsin and Michigan State. They weren't really expected to be top of the Big Ten, maybe mid-tier of the Big Ten they were expected, but really Johnny Davis of Wisconsin has really come on so far this year. So.
Absolutely betting favorite for the Wooden Award this season. One of the big surprises in the Big Ten and all of college basketball. Good to see Big Ten teams succeeding always.
Yeah, Illinois is good as always. The last couple of years they've been really good. So yeah, it's really Big Ten's probably one of the deeper conferences in college basketball this year. So really hard to get wins in this conference.
When you talk about teams that you'd want to play, I think Michigan is still obviously a very, very talented team, and if they're able to figure it out and start to mesh together, and Juwan Howard, I have the utmost faith that he will get this turned around, because this is a very talented team. It's not a team that you want to play. This could be one of those teams that starts to get hot down the stretch in late February, making a push to be in the tournament at this point with a 7-7 record, 1-3 conference record. So the tournament is not a lock at this point, but they could make a push late in the season.
Yeah, they can make a push. They just need, honestly, this team just needs more time on the court. They just don't have the chemistry up yet.
Fats Russell with the ball at the top of the key. Jones defending as we get back from the media timeout. Eric Ayala, Brooks defending. He's working in the paint. Spinning, poked away by Brooks, and the Terrapins will retain possession.
Honestly, really good defense there by Brooks. He has an obvious size disadvantage against Eric Ayala, but did a really good job there.
And it's Julian Reese on the offensive rebound. Can't corral it. Will go to the Wolverines. And Fats Russell will look to pick up Devontae Jones at about 3/4 court. Brooks to Jones. Screen from Dickinson. Nothing going there. Well defended by the Terrapins. It's Houston going baseline, and it's tipped away by Julian Reese. Fats Russell will push in transition.
That was a poor pass there by Caleb, but nice drive on the baseline, though.
And that ball is stolen by Eli Brooks in transition. It's Devontae Jones through contact. Can't finish. Rebounded by Jones. Back up and in.
Nice transition. Nice defense by Eli Brooks. Really good job with the offensive rebound there by Devontae Jones.
That will extend the Wolverine lead to 7. 11-4 Wolverines, just under 15 minutes to go here in the first half. Fats Russell to Julian Reese, the freshman. Got the start last game against Rutgers, coming off the bench today.
Nice steal by Hunter there.
Dickinson can't push in transition. Wolverines will slow it down and run a half-court set. It's Houston in the corner. Back up to Jones. Screen and roll with Brooks and Dickinson. Dickinson has it. Backdoor cut.
Come on,
pass out to Diabate in the corner. No good. Rebound to Fats Russell. Fats Russell, a Rhode Island transfer, was rumored to have interest from the Wolverines. Of course, the Wolverines ended up going out and getting Devontae Jones, the Coastal Carolina transfer.
I think everyone was expecting Fats Russell to be pretty good this year for the Maryland Terrapins. I don't think he's been as good as everyone expected, but...
And that three-pointer is good. Dante Scott cuts the lead to 4, 11-7, just under 14 to go in the first half. Houston into Diabate. Scott defending on the left block. Diabate looking to back him down. Gaining no ground. Goes up with it. No good. Tipped out to Devontae Jones. He'll pump fake. Hesitates. Won't shoot the three. Inside to Dickinson. He'll spin on Reese. They bring the double. And it's turned over by Dickinson. Scott pushing in transition.
I think there Devontae Jones has to be aggressive, looking for his own shot from down deep.
Absolutely. When the ball's tipped out to you like that and you're wide open, your starting point guard needs to be able to knock that shot down, no hesitation.
Because no one's going to respect you outside the perimeter, outside the three-point shot if you can't hit that.
Speaking of having a quick trigger, there's Eric Ayala airballing on the three. And Terrence Williams will check in for Moussa Diabate. Some substitutions for the Terrapins as well. Looks like Ian Martinez will be checking back into the game. And so will number 11, Xavier Green. On the floor for the Terrapins, it's number 4, Fats Russell. Number 11, Xavier Green, number 10, Julian Reese, number 13, Hakeem Grant, and number 23, Ian Martinez. Wolverines, it's Dickinson, Jones, Williams, Brooks, and Houston. Great up and under move by Brooks, and they call a travel. That looked to be a great move by Brooks. I did not see that.
Yeah, I did not see that travel either. I think that was a little bit of a suspect call there, but
as Frankie Collins checks in for Devontae Jones. Collins, one of the more electric guards in the Big Ten, especially amongst freshmen. Has great bounce that he was showing off in warm-ups today.
Yeah, he's really athletic, really aggressive, really fancy with pass moves.
Julian Reese will take a mid-range shot, knocks it down. 11-9 is the score.
That was a little bit of a breakdown defense by the Wolverines there, but
Collins directing traffic here.
looks like Maryland's playing like a little bit of a hybrid 3-2 man's zone.
Great passing by the Wolverines as Dickinson able to find Houston for the easy deuce. 13-9, just about 8 minutes through in the first half. Great feed from Dickinson. And that's something he's gotten a lot better at, is that passing. Fats Russell takes a leaning mid-range shot, misses the rim. Rebounded by Terrence Williams. He'll take it along the right side. And Houston attacking the lane. And one. Caleb Houston waiting on the call to see if it was a block or a charge. The official making the blocking motion, and Houston will head to the line after the media timeout to knock down his free throw. Through 12 minutes, it's 13-9. The Wolverines leading the Terrapins. Zach, what have the Wolverines been doing so far to acquire this lead?
Honestly, they've been really aggressive down low. It's really nice to see Caleb Houston shooting and being more aggressive, getting his shots to go down, especially since he's been struggling from the field the last couple of games.
Yeah, the Wolverines have done a great job of getting everyone involved. 15-9 is the current score. My apologies. The Wolverines have been able to, it seems, had great motion offensively and have been able to find guys on all areas of the floor, getting to the rim, and something we mentioned earlier, getting Hunter Dickinson involved early.
Yeah, honestly, he's your star big man. You got to give him, especially since he's been out due to fitness issues with COVID breaking out on this team a couple of games ago. So you really need to get him down, get him back rolling, get him back in the motion of it, which they've done. He's done pretty good. He only has 2 points, but he's still making an impact on defense, making an impact on the board. So yeah, it's really exciting to see. Honestly, Caleb Houston's been a big story right now with 7 points and 1 3-point shot. Really exciting to see him have his shots go down, especially since he's been struggling a little bit recently with that.
Yeah, and Houston's obviously a special player, one of the most highly touted recruits in this past recruiting cycle. Obviously ended up choosing to come to Ann Arbor and play for head coach Juwan Howard. And it maybe hasn't been quite the season that has been hoped or expected from him. But when he's able to find that three-point shot and consistently knock it down, he really is a special player because he has the length, the defensive capabilities, the athleticism to make plays.
Yeah, he does. He's really a special player. He plays high school ball in Montverde Academy, which is one of the top places in high school to play basketball at. They produced Cade Cunningham, the recent #1 overall pick in the NBA draft recently. So,
yeah, Scotty Barnes also played there.
Yeah, Scotty Barnes also played there. Zeb Jackson, who's also on Michigan, also played there.
Just numerous NBA talents that we can go on and on.
So he's a really highly touted player in high school. So I think everyone coming into this year was expecting him to be more of like a instant impact player on the offensive side, be a little bit more agile, be a little bit more explosive. But in high school, he played the 4 position. He didn't really play the 3 position. So I think it was a little bit much to ask of him to switch to that 3 position really early on and be like make that impact from the wings position. But
one of the biggest changes, obviously, losing players like Mike Smith and Franz Wagner and
Sean D. Brown was a huge miss too.
Isaiah Livers, obviously. That cannot be overstated because this is a team, a Michigan Wolverines team that was ranked very highly going into the season, losing 4 NBA talents.
Yeah.
And there are very few teams that can do that. You have the Dukes of the world, the Kentuckys of the world that consistently recruit guys for one season that just go on to the NBA. But that's not quite the brand that Michigan has developed, especially under John Beilein. And then they're looking to kind of continue that under Juwan Howard. So just the idea that you'd be able to plug in a lot of these talented freshmen isn't necessarily quite what some may have expected when you look at a Duke, a Kentucky, these programs that just plug in these five-star players and still produce.
Yeah, honestly,
it's not easy.
Yeah, Kentucky's done it for years, and they've had years where they didn't make the tournament. Even though they've done the whole five-star, they have John Calipari. Obviously, they're one of the blue blood programs in college basketball.
And Caleb Houston knocks down the free throw. 16-9 is your score. The Wolverines playing solid so far. Collins guarding Ian Martinez. Ball is poked free and corralled by Collins. He'll look to run up the floor in transition. Coast to coast, Frankie Collins.
Really nice play there by Collins with the steal, then all the way driving down the floor to get the fast break layup.
And Frankie Collins, what a play there. Coast to coast, weaving through Maryland defenders, and that's the athleticism and the bounce that he shows.
Yeah, he's really...
You can't help but be excited about as a Michigan fan.
Yeah, really showed his potential there. Not quite there, obviously, because he's a freshman, but you'll be there one day, so...
Ball knocked out of bounds on the ensuing possession. Maryland retains possession. They'll look to attack inside. It's Julian Reese. Ball on the ground. And the call is out of bounds. Wolverine basketball. And head coach Danny Manning cannot be happy with the amount of turnovers from his Terrapins so far.
Yeah, honestly, really nice defense there by Caleb Houston, forcing the turnover on the Maryland.
And it's Frankie Collins finding Brooks. Kobe Buffkin into the game for the Wolverines.
Nice
pass.
Diabate
on the flush.
Really nice cut, really nice action around the perimeter by the Wolverines there. Nice find by Eli Brooks.
Absolutely. And the Terrapins a little bit lost right now. Scores 20-9. 10:45 remaining. Great block.
Nice block by Musa.
And Brooks will push. Finds Buffkin in the corner. Buffkin, corner three. No good. Terrence Williams unable to bring in that rebound. And Ian Martinez will find it. Foul by Frankie Williams. That looked to be intentional.
Yeah, it was definitely intentional. I think he was trying to get Devontae Jones back on the court. I think Eli was kind of gassed maybe a little bit out there, but...
Yeah, I noticed Eli, the last possession, pointing, looking for a sub. And he gets his sub. Not sure if that's an injury-related deal. It looks like one of the trainers maybe.
Yeah, I think they might be looking at him for a little bit of an injury there.
Fats Russell on the attack. Out to Hakeem Hart. Hart takes a spill on the deck, and it's Frankie Collins right there with him, diving for the loose ball.
Nice play there by Frankie Collins, diving for the ball, really showing his tenacity there. Going for it all out, being aggressive.
And the possession arrow will now flip toward the Wolverines. It's a Maryland basketball. Kadus Wahab into the game for the Terrapins. Interesting matchup between him and Diabate, two very physically gifted players inside. It's Jones, Buffkin, Collins, Williams, and Diabate for the Wolverines, as Fats Russell is able to snake around and into the paint for the deuce off the inbound. 20-11, about 10 minutes remaining in the first half. On the floor for the Terrapins, it's Russell, Grant, Scott, Wahab, and Ayala. The typical starting five for the Terrapins this season was not their starting five today, which was a little bit interesting. Head coach Danny Manning going a little bit of a different direction, but wasn't pleased with their start and has his traditional starting five on the floor. Collins looking to attack Russell, sizing him up. Some cutting action from the Wolverines. It's a screen from Diabate. Into the corner, Buffkin hesitates a little bit on the corner three, and it's no good off the iron.
Honestly, that little bit of hesitation there really kind of caused him to miss that basket.
Completely agree. Russell on the attack, decides to pass out of his shot, and it will go toward the Wolverines. Another just unnecessary turnover for the Terrapins. Fats Russell needs to go up with that shot. And the Wolverines will look to capitalize yet again on another Maryland turnover. Terrence Williams with Scott defending. Wolverines have been very successful getting the ball inside and then creating off of that. Buffkin pump fakes. And he'll have to pass it out to Williams.
Gotta get something going to the basket.
Shot clock running down. It's Collins, a step back three.
Oh,
no
man.
good. Missed a lot there.
That was an air ball there, all right.
Shot clock running down, last second shot.
I love that confidence, though, by Frankie there. Really just taking that step back, just anyways, with the shot clock winding down.
Great screen at half court from Scott as Collins is sent flying backwards. Another screen, this time from Wahab. Ayala on the attack. They find Russell in the corner, jabbing at Collins. Russell steps back, passes out. Scott will pull a three, no good. Maryland not a great three-point shooting team. Scott himself, a below average three-point shooter, shoots it around 30% from three.
Nice offensive rebound and basket by Musa Diabate.
Diabate on the follow, puts the Wolverines up 11. As the Terrapins struggle to find an answer for this Wolverine defense that has been stifling so far. And it's Buffkin guarding Hart. Buffkin now on Russell. Size mismatch here with Collins on Hart. And it's a foul called on Collins as the shot clock was winding down. Hart went up with that one, just shot straight over him. And Collins with a good foul there to make him earn it at the line. 8-minute media timeout, 22-11, Wolverines up so far. About 12 minutes through the first half. Zach, what do the Terrapins have to do to get back into this game?
Honestly, they got to find some offense, any type of offense at all. Really, they've been really struggling from that side of the court. They've kept Michigan mostly in check on the offensive side, so they've done a well enough job on the defense. Really just need to find something. They obviously have a mismatch down low because they don't really have the size to match up with Michigan. They've struggled from three-point shot, as you said, this half from the season. So really they just need to find some sort of offense, really get the ball moving around the perimeter, try to get Michigan's defense off, really just get Michigan's defense off balance on that side of the ball, try to get it going, maybe start throwing some picks.
It's something that I've noticed so far, Eric Ayala, number 5, senior for the Terrapins. Most people would agree he's their best player.
Yeah.
Preseason Wooden Award watch list, averages 16 points a game. He has held with 0 so far through the first half.
Honestly, he's been really taking some inefficient shots. He's taken only 2 3-point shots, so for Maryland, they really need to get him going down towards the basket, maybe set a pick for him so he can get an easy shot on basket and not really have to take an inefficient shot.
And Ayala can heat up from 3, but he likes to use his size typically to create his offense. If I'm Danny Manning, you need to get your star player going. This is a team that runs through Fats Russell, Eric Ayala, and Hakeem Hart. You need to get them going. Hakeem Hart especially had been on an absolute tear, having double figures in all of his last 10 games.
He has 0 points right now.
Far. Only 1 shot attempt. He'll be at the line next, but that's another thing. They have to get to the free throw line. 0 free throw attempts, I believe, through the first 12 minutes.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't been to the free throw line a lot. They haven't attempted a lot of shots in general when compared to Michigan. Michigan's attempted 8 more shots than Maryland so far this game, and that's probably due to turnovers. So,
exactly, 7 turnovers through 12 minutes of play. That will drive any coach crazy, especially a coach like Danny Manning, former #1 overall pick in the NBA draft in 1988 of the Los Angeles Clippers, played his college ball at Kansas. Now in here trying to right the ship for the Terrapins.
Yeah, honestly, Maryland just needs to be a little bit more careful with the ball, get some sets moving, get some defensive stops.
And the Terrapins, they're not a fantastic offensive team. That's not their MO.
Yeah.
But they are a defensive team. That is their brand, and they are just not able to slow down this Wolverine offense.
Yeah. So,
and Hakeem Hart will be at the free throw line as we return from this media timeout. Big Ten Conference play here for the Wolverines. Both teams only one winning conference play, looking to find their second. It looks like the Wolverines want it more so far. Hakeem Hart, a solid free throw shooter, shoots at about 85%. Knocks it down on the first one. Mays Rage letting him know that he's not alone here in this stadium. And he misses the second. Credit to the student section there. Devontae Jones will look to push for the Wolverines in the half court. He'll attack.
Oh, that's a
and
bonehead play by Devontae Jones there. Really not good.
Yeah, offensive foul there on Devontae Jones, knocking over Fats Russell, the undersized guard. Russell only 5'10", Devontae Jones at about 6'3". It's a considerable difference there.
Yeah, that's a really big difference.
Terrapins need a bucket here. No field goals in the last 2 minutes and 33 seconds.
I don't like how they're going down to their big man every time. So.
And they'll call a foul there, I believe, on Dickinson. Excuse me, they'll call that on Buffkin. Crowd doesn't like it. And Eli Brooks looks to be all set as he checks back into the game for Buffkin. Wahab with it, Dickinson defending. Ayala to Russell. Russell to Scott, back to Russell. Ayala attacking on Brooks. Brooks defending well. Ayala gonna back him down all the way to the bucket and goes up with it short. Terrapins retain possession. Score is 20-12, 7:13 remaining in the first half. Hakeem Hart will inbound. Throws it up to Ayala, who just goes and gets it over Brooks.
That's his pure size advantage over Brooks. He just used his size against him there.
Just bullied him out of the way for that one. Goes up and gets it. 22-14 now, as the Wolverines look to counter. Screen trying to free up Caleb Houston. Devontae Jones in the corner, shoots the three, no good. And it looks like a offensive foul on Hunter Dickinson going up for the rebound. Dickinson not happy.
Full court press here by the Wolverines. Trying to slow down Maryland even more.
Brooks, Jones, and Diabate all on the other side of the timeline.
Oh boy.
Terrapins looking to expose it. It's Scott shooting from the corner. No good. Out of bounds to the Wolverines. And the Terrapins continue to shoot it poor from three. 1 for 5. Wolverines haven't shot it any better. They're 1 for 6, but they've been able to get it inside.
Yeah, Maryland's shooting 43% from the field, while compared to the Wolverines 50%. So
Dickinson has it on the left block.
See,
Fats Russell doubling. Here's another three, and it's good. Devontae Jones, top of the key three. If Fats Russell's going to hang right in there on Hunter Dickinson's hip, you got to make him pay, and Devontae Jones does just that.
Honestly, really smart play there by Dickinson. He knows that Devontae Jones isn't a very confident shooter, and he needs a little bit of time to get his shot off, so he tried to make it look like he was rolling down toward the block.
Ayala, he'll pull up from three, no good. Rebound to Houston.
To bring away Devontae Jones' defender even more.
Jones on the attack, finds Houston in the corner. Houston goes baseline, looking, has nothing, throws it out to Dickinson. Dickinson will pull a top of the key three. That one's good too. Hunter Dickinson fired up as he hits his first three back from COVID. And the Wolverines starting to heat up from downtown as they hit back-to-back triples. Turnover from the Terrapins. Wolverines pushing in transition. It's Brooks.
Oh.
And he can't quite throw it down. Fouled. The crowd was ready for that one. And the Terrapins rob the Wolverine faithful of a thunderous jam from Eli Brooks.
Honestly, it looked like he was a little bit tripped up there, maybe by Maryland, but I don't know.
Brooks will head to the charity stripe for a pair.
Oh, he just got collided with, yep.
First one is good, making the score 29-14, 5:18 to go in the first half. And this is just the game the Wolverines needed.
Yeah, honestly.
Coming off of a tough loss at Indiana, having to reschedule a couple games.
Honestly, you need all the games you can get in the Big Ten, especially how deep it is. You need all the home games, especially, because going away in the Big Ten is really tough. You probably want to go 500 away. Home, you want to go probably 3/4 with 750 with wins. So
Brooks knocks down both at the line, 30-14. Wolverines up 16 so far. It's Scott facing up on Diabate, backing him down. Little spin, hook, no good. Rebound to Dickinson.
Nice defense there by Diabate.
And that one's stolen from Devontae Jones. Kudus Wahab just came in and picked his pocket.
Honestly, yeah, right there, Devontae Jones has to know to slow it down, watch behind him. He was going a little too fast there.
And Fats Russell turns it over again. Stepping out of bounds once he catches the ball. It's simply not conducive to winning basketball to have 9 turnovers now before the first half's even finished.
Yeah, that's really bad. Usually a good team rarely turnovers the ball more than 10 times a game, so.
Yeah, 10's the number that you like to stay under. They're approaching that in the first half alone as Diabate misses a shot from the charity stripe. It's Scott sizing up Diabate. Fats Russell on the blow-by into the corner. It's Hart long on the triple. Rebound to Diabate. Diabate will take it up the floor.
Honestly, Maryland's getting perimeter shots. They just not haven't been able to connect and make Michigan pay for a lapse in judgment on the perimeter defense.
Terrapins shoot about 31% as a team on the season, 1 for 7 tonight. It's Brooks to Diabate on the flush.
Nice action there. Nice cut by Diabate. Nice backdoor action.
And that's the action that the Wolverines love to get. Great pocket pass there from Eli Brooks, and Moussa Diabate finishes it with the hammer. Wolverines up 32-14 with just over 16 minutes played in the first half. As we approach the end of the half, Zach, what has impressed you so far with the Wolverines?
Honestly, really good on the defensive side. Been playing good defense, really forcing Maryland, forcing him to miss from the outside. Offensively, they've been showing some improvements from perimeter, so that's very exciting since this team has been, the last couple games, struggled from deep. So it's really nice to see that. Nice development tonight to see from Houston and Diabate, both leading the Wolverines of 8 points. So it's really exciting to see the freshmen get their feet wet, get going.
Yes, and Hunter Dickinson has been a big part of this offense so far with 4 assists leading the way for the Wolverines. His presence as a playmaker has definitely been felt.
Yeah, honestly, the Wolverines know that Maryland's going to double them because they don't have the size down low to play straight-up defense. So Wolverines been really nice basketball IQ, knowing to pass out to the outside when he gets doubled to try to get that open three-point shot.
And that's one of the keys for the Wolverines all season is everyone knows Hunter Dickinson's a tremendous player, and he's going to get his. But when opposing teams say, you know what, we're not going to let Hunter Dickinson get his. We're going to double, triple team even every time he touches the ball in the post. We're going to front. We're going to deny. The rest of the Wolverines need to be able to knock down perimeter shots, make smart cuts to the rim, because Hunter Dickinson has shown that he will find them if they're able to slip to the basket on a backdoor cut or relocate to the corner for a corner three when the double comes. It's just all about converting on those opportunities.
Yeah, they've really struggled on that this year, shooting and getting those open three-point shots to go down. I was really impressed with one play by Hunter Dickinson this half where he made the basketball move down towards the block, left block, drew Devontae Jones, defender, a little bit closer towards him so he can give Devontae Jones even more time to shoot that three-point shot.
And that's just the feel for the game that Hunter Dickinson has developed over his time here at Michigan and obviously through his whole life. But you can really see that he has a great sense of what's going on around him. And there are a lot of bigs that they catch the ball in the post and they just put their head down and dribble back to the basket. That's not necessarily it for Dickinson. He can do that when he needs to and just bully through players, but he also has the wherewithal to be able to see the court around him and find his open teammates.
Yeah, he's really good at doing that, especially when your perimeter players like Devontae Jones, Caleb Houston, and sometimes Kobe Buffkin, when he's out there, they've been struggling. They have not been as confident in their three-point shot this year. And they really just need to see that ball go down through the net from deep. So I think Hunter realizes that, so he's been trying to give him a little bit easier shots.
Absolutely. And as we return from the final media timeout of the first half, the Terrapins will inbound down 32-14.
2-free zone here by the Wolverines.
And
now they move to a
blow-by move from Scott. He goes up, can't finish. Rebound Houston. And he'll control it, finding Jones to run the half-court offense. And the Terrapins just unable to convert on those opportunities around the rim so far today.
Yeah, that's really hurting them when you especially can't hit the open three-point shot. You got to be able to hit those twos, tough twos.
Jones pulls another three. It's good. Devontae Jones heating up from deep.
Yeah, that's awesome to see, really. I think Devontae Jones is a really streaky shooter, so he has to get a couple going to become hot from down deep. So.
Well, and Zach, you and I were both on the call for the Southern Utah game. He was red hot from three in that game, so he's shown that he can knock down the shots.
Yeah, he has shown that.
And he showed that last year at Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
It's just hasn't been quite as consistent as everyone had hoped when he came to Ann Arbor.
Yeah, I think he's still a little bit adjusting to be the main on-ball player at Coastal Carolina. He was really mainly the two. So he really was in a more catch-and-shoot opportunities from deep. Now he has to be able to create off the dribble, too. So it's been a little bit of difficult transition for him. Also, there's better athletes overall in the Big Ten compared to Coastal Carolina's conference.
And this first free throw from Scott ends a 13-0-1 for the Wolverines. Scott finds the second as well. 35-16 is your score, just under 3 minutes to go. It's Brooks probing, finds Jones. Jones pump fakes on the three, a little runner, no good. Rebound by Julian Reese, the talented four-star freshman, top of the Terrapin recruiting class this previous year. And that pass is tipped. Cannot be corralled by the Wolverines. It's Ayala in the corner. Can't find the triple. Another rebound for the Terrapins. It's Reese again. Fats Russell will attack Folds. And that pass is stolen. Great defensive play by Eli Brooks. Ball thrown up for Reese. Brooks able to get a hand in there, knock it away, and then throw it off of Julian Reese for the Wolverines to gain possession. Backed up against the baseline there.
Really
Great
nice basketball IQ play. Really good understand by Brooks where he was at on the floor.
Absolutely. As Folds has it at the top of the key. Seeing increased minutes with the absence of Brandon Johns. Houston's pass is tipped out of bounds. Michigan retains possession. 14 seconds left on the shot clock. 2:03 to go in the half. Same score as before, 35-16. And the Terrapins making a substitution here. Xavier Green into the game for Julian Reese. Houston into the lane. Little hook shot. Bounces around the rim and falls. Caleb Houston tied with Jones to lead the Wolverines for 10 points so far in the game, as they extend their lead. And the Terrapins looking to attack here. It's Scott pump faking, decides against it. Fats Russell probing, has a mismatch. Puts it up, no good. Rebound. Back out to Scott. His three-pointer is good. Finally, a three-pointer falls for the Terrapins.
Usually, when a team is either when a team is very hot from the floor from three-point or very cold, it usually in the second half it stabilizes. So it'll be interesting to see if Maryland can get their three-point average closer to their season average of 31%.
Absolutely. Once you get into that locker room, you're able to reset a little bit, and that can be a plus and a negative depending on if you're a hot shooter in the first half or stone cold.
Yes, especially since Michigan has been giving them those open three-point shots. If for Maryland to get back in this game, they have to capitalize on that, which they haven't been able to do so far. So,
score is 37-19. Wolverines leading, 1:10 to go in the first half. Juwan Howard has to be feeling good, the rest of that coaching staff, with how his team's been playing so far.
Honestly, the three top point contributors this game were not on Michigan last year. Not on this court. They were either in the high school or on another team entirely. So that's, as a Michigan fan, especially with so many new players on this team, it's really exciting to see some of these new guys contribute like this tonight.
And it is nice for the Wolverines, at least from a strategy standpoint, to be able to give Hunter Dickinson a little bit of rest as they need. They're not forced to play him heavy minutes in his first game back. I mean, when you're up 18 points, you have that luxury. And the Wolverines on the attack here. It's Diabate on the lob in the paint. Diabate goes up and finishes for the deuce. That's his 10th point of the game. And Fats Russell, quick behind the back move. And kicked out of bounds by Devontae Jones. Nice reaction in the air by both players. Russell to get the pass off, and then Jones to react even faster and knock it away. Terrence Williams into the game for Michigan. Russell with Diabate guarding. Wolverines have been switching a lot, and they've been okay with it. They've been successful. It's Ayala back to Hart. Fats Russell, pump fakes the three, passes out. Scott tries another three, no good, he's short. Gets his own rebound, back up with it, short again on the little follow. And the Wolverines gain possession.
If you're a Maryland fan, you gotta be really frustrated, especially with Fats Russell getting that open look.
Russell just has not been very aggressive today. He's seemingly passed out of a lot of shots.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. He's a great playmaker, but some of these shots he needs to be going up with and forcing the Wolverines to respect his game. As the clock ticks down here, just about 5 seconds, Jones pulls another three off the heel.
Up.
Goes to put it back up, no good. And after the first half, the Wolverines lead 39-19. Stifling defense, the story for the Wolverines in the first half. Zach, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it was. They played a really good game defensively, offensively. The new guys got it going, which was awesome to see, especially since they've been struggling from deep. And this game, they've been shooting 40% from deep, which was really awesome to see. It's awesome to see Devontae Jones be a little bit more aggressive as well. Diabate's played really well. Honestly, if you're a Maryland fan, you've had opportunities to be in this game, but you've struggled.
And one of those biggest keys is the Terrapins, 10 turnovers in that first half, only 7 of 23 from the field. That has to change for head coach Danny Manning and his squad if they want to make a comeback in this second half. With that, we will head to a quick break, and we'll be right back for the second half of Michigan and Maryland for WCBN. welcome back as WCBN is back from the halftime break. The players are out on the court warming up. I am still Kelin Flynn, and I am now joined with Amer Bektas. Amer, how are we doing today?
Oh, fantastic, man. How about that? Exactly what the doctor ordered for this team, to be able to, go up against a Maryland team that is at the bottom of the Big Ten. A team that came in similar to Michigan with high aspirations of being able to contend in the Big Ten. So Michigan not really playing for the last couple of weeks due to COVID and just other reasons in the other program. And then, really showing some fight against Illinois last weekend. And that's continued tonight as they've brought back Hunter Dickinson and Brandon Johns Jr. And how about the freshmen really stepping up? You got Caleb Houston and Musa Diabate both combining for 20 points. Jones with 10 as well. And then Hunter Dickinson, this is like a personal game for him. We all kind of forget how personal of a game this is to him when he plays Maryland, because he is from Maryland, and there's that beef between him and the program. So once he hit that three and looked up into the sky, just let a big roar, this team could be turning a point. And that's how it works. So it's like they just build, they work together on it. There's a lot of talent on this team. It's just, can they figure out the proper lineup and how to work together? Tonight they're showing that they definitely can.
When you spoke a little bit about the beef, so to say, that there is with this team, now obviously with head coach Mark Turgeon gone, a little bit of that is gone because of the whole incident that happened last season between Coach Howard and Coach Turgeon, but a little bit of that still resides, I'm sure, and obviously with Hunter Dickinson being from Maryland and not being heavily recruited by them, definitely
it's personal.
Exactly, a chip on his shoulder, so to say.
Yeah, and he looks fantastic. And he could have played. He was good to go against Illinois, just not able to due to the stamina.
And he is back in full swing tonight as the Wolverines look ready to go here as we approach the start of the second half. The clock winding down under 20 seconds now. What do the Terrapins need to do to get back in this game, if they can, if they have any hope?
They got to be able to shoot behind the arc.
Yeah, and that's something that they have struggled with all season at times. The Terrapins, not a great three-point shooting team. Zach and I definitely touched on that. And that's something that something that needs to change. And maybe it's that they don't have the talent or the personnel to be an elite three-point shooting team. But it's something that needs to change, because teams can simply just force them and dare them to shoot the three ball. And when they don't, when they can't hit that, it really causes issues for them at times. Both teams back on the floor. Starting five for Michigan to start the second half. It's Jones, Brooks, Houston, Diabate, and Hunter Dickinson inside.
Yeah, same starting five as before to start this game. So
for the Terrapins, it is a little bit, actually, I believe it's their same five. It's Ian Martinez, Xavier Green, Eric Ayala, Dante Scott, and the big man in the middle is Kudus Wahab. As Pump It Up.
Nice little pre-game song to get them. This is our unofficial anthem now since football season.
Reverberating throughout the Crisler Center. The student section loving it. And why not?
So right away on that first possession, you see Devontae Jones drive, sideline, kicks it into Hunter, and Hunter tries to find Musa on the other side, who gets the foul. They're going to try to go down low. They're being successful down low on the post. Why not? And, Michigan struggled this year to shoot behind the arc.
That's for sure. At times they have really struggled behind the arc, as that one is good from Diabate.
Yeah, Musa Diabate on the first one,
he'll look to knock down his second as well. The clap from the crowd, the French flag being held high. Fills up on the second. And the Moose chants coming down from the student section. 41-19 is the score now. 19 points and a half. Not game-winning basketball if you're Maryland. Something Juwan Howard loves to see on the other side, though. Tremendous defense from his team, forcing turnovers. As Scott has it at the top of the key. He'll look to attack Dickinson on the dribble drive, and he fills it up high off the glass there for the deuce.
Yeah, Scott right there, starting at the top of the elbow, just quicker than Dickinson right there, gets an easy right-handed layup.
Scott, not a super tall player, not a lot of size for a force. Dickinson spins and finishes. Just beautiful footwork there from the 7'1" big man.
Right there, Dickinson going back at Scott. You know, it's like, you did that to me on the other side, I'll do the same to you.
Yeah, showing off their different styles of game, but both of them can be effective. As Green decides to jump and not shoot from the corner.
Yeah, he had Caleb Houston coming at him, you know, tried to fake his shot so Houston would blow by him, but rather travel, and it's a turnover in Michigan. Ball goes back to Michigan.
And that's now the 11th turnover for the Terrapins, as some things are not changing from the first half to the second. Another one of those things that's not changing, the Wolverines feeding Hunter Dickinson as he passes cross court to Houston, who buries the three. Caleb Houston, nothing but net.
That's got to feel pretty good for the freshman right there, seeing that ball go through and just ripping the net.
Houston a bit streaky, but definitely has proven that he can shoot it when he's hot, as Ayala will pull a deep three. Speaking of shooting, he knocks that one down. Both teams trading blows now, as something Zach mentioned. Teams kind of heating up when they have a bad shooting performance in the first half, starts to even it out. Well, the Terrapins are definitely trying to even that back out. As great passing from the Wolverines finds a corner three for Jones that is swatted right back at him by Ian Martinez. Great closeout. Wolverines retain possession.
Yeah, fantastic block right there. Got a full hand of ball. Just no chance there for Jones. But it'll stay with Michigan. They still got plenty of time with 14 seconds. I'd expect him to go down low to Hunter Dickinson on this one.
And why not? It's been super effective all game. As they try to clear out the paint for him. Shot clock running down to 5. Jones on the attack, finds Diabate. Diabate loses it.
Diabate could have slammed that, but he tried to regather.
Ayala into the paint, and he's pinned by Diabate. They call it a goaltend. Great defensive effort by Diabate, just half a second too late, as that ball was already coming off the backboard. But electric blocks have not been something that we are unused to seeing from Musa Diabate.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes into this game, or into the second half, Michigan, they're trading blows, they're both scoring their points, but Michigan's still maintaining a 20-point lead.
And that was expected, that Maryland wasn't going to continue to shoot as poorly as they were from three and from the field. I mean, that was going to start to even out. These are all Division I very talented players. As Dickinson just continues to eat on that low block. Nothing that the Terrapins can do about it. It's Hunter Dickinson's world, and they're just living in it.
Yeah, it all started out with Caleb Houston at the top of the key, driving around and then just laying it off for Hunter Dickinson, you know, just putting the cherry on top for him.
And Scott looks to get into the lane. Foul called on Diabate.
And you can look at both of these two teams, you know, hovering right around that 500 mark, only one win in Big Ten play. We're halfway through the season. Michigan, looking at Michigan's perspective, they still have the meat of their schedule. So getting a good, solid win over Maryland, who's been struggling lately, is exactly what the doctor ordered for them.
Absolutely, and especially with big-time games against Purdue and Michigan State being rescheduled now later in the season. Those are still yet to come. Definitely a lot of room for growth. Nice finish there by Scott.
That was a
crafty dribbling.
That was a fantastic take by Scott right there. Credit to Musa Diabate for staying on his feet, because he almost got put on skates.
And Jones will be fouled attacking the rim there. Looks like he'll head to the line.
I'm still mesmerized by how Musa just stayed with his guy. Like, those crossovers, they weren't light. Like, they were full on in between. And
No, that was
Musa
a
stuck
flurry
with it.
of dribble moves from the 4-man, who's more of a combo 4, stretch 4, as that foul will be called a floor foul. Wolverines inbound, looking to feed Dickinson again. Brooks takes a 3 from the wing, back iron, rebounded by Scott, we've been saying his name a lot in the second half, haven't we? As he continues to stay on the attack and finishes through the contact. Dante Scott now with those points adding up in the second half.
Yeah, Wolverines now shooting 1 for 3 behind the arc in this to start the second half, but overall they're 5 for 13. And I think that's right around their season average, maybe a little bit higher. And you know, it's well established that the Michigan Wolverines have a dominant post presence in Hunter Dickinson. Now they need to, you know, finish this like team by being able to shoot behind the arc, and it's just not clicking for them yet. Like, Michigan doesn't have a guy that they know that they can go to in the corner and be like reliable, be like, hey, this is our guy that can knock it down if we need a 3. Because, you know, when teams are coming down on Hunter Dickinson, you know, putting 2, sometimes 3 guys on him, being able to kick it out into the corner at the top of the key for a knockdown 3-pointer is huge for this team. You know, I heard you guys talking about in the first half about postseason player and whatnot. Michigan, they got to be able to add that to their game if they want any chance.
Yeah, they're far from a lock right now to make the NCAA tournament at this point. Both the Wolverines and the Terrapins at this point. But this is a team, like you mentioned, that you need that 3-point shooting threat. And last year, in a very, very successful season, Mike Smith, Chaundi Brown, Isaiah Livers, Franz Wagner, all guys that would consistently be able to knock down that 3-point shot when it's kicked out to them off of a double team from Hunter, which is something that we've already mentioned earlier in the broadcast, but that he's gotten very, very good at, is finding that open man when opponents bring a double.
And, you know, Mike Smith doesn't get the credit that he really deserves of how well he was able to, you know, create space on the floor, find the open guy, just really be that floor leader. Like, you know, I'll use a football analogy, like being the quarterback of the team. Right now, Michigan's looking. Franz Wagner, look at what he's doing with the Orlando Magic. Like, you know, sometimes they throw his name into Rookie of the Year. Like, it's fantastic
absolutely.
what he's doing down there.
He's definitely in that top 3 with Cade Cunningham and Mobley. Make that 4 with Scotty Barnes, but he has been nothing short of fantastic down there in Orlando.
And even Chaundi Brown playing with the Lakers a little bit, and then now in the G League. So, like, there was a lot of there was a lot of talent with this Michigan team last year, and there was also a lot of talent coming into the season this year with 5-star talents like Moussa Diabate, Caleb Houston. And at the beginning of the season, we were, I don't know what the correct term would be, but like we were a little bit spoiled at the beginning right there because they had such fantastic games, and then it's almost like they fell off a cliff.
And it was just the expectations, I think, were set a little bit too high. And something we said earlier, losing the guys that they lost is not an easy thing to overcome whatsoever. I mean, we talked about all these guys, how they're making plays at the next level. That's not something that you can just plug in new guys and it just clicks like that. Mm-hmm. And we were very spoiled, the Wolverines were very spoiled to have a guy like Mike Smith come in and just fit in seamlessly with the rest of that group.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is we have yet to see Brandon Johns hit the floor. He is suited up, he is on the bench, but he has not checked into this game yet.
And I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see him. If the coaching staff hasn't played him so far, I think it's unlikely, barring this game getting a lot closer and coming in. Hunter Dickinson on the block, cross-court pass to the corner. Eli Brooks, that's good from distance. 3-lie, as he's affectionately known by when he knocks down some triples.
You would think that they were listening to us while they were in the huddle over there.
Absolutely. Exactly what we were just talking about. A double on Dickinson and a cross-court pass as Eric Ayala continues to heat up from distance. He bangs home another one. Scores 51-33. as we approach 15 minutes remaining in the contest.
Yeah, Ayala now up to 10 points.
And a lot of that coming in the second half, especially from deep. And Dickinson will post up on Reese. Baseline, little hook shot, it's good. Hunter Dickinson.
That was a nice take by Dickinson right there. He got his defender on his hip where he wanted him. Couple dribbles, under the basket, nice little hook shot. Give 2 points to Hunter Dickinson.
And Julian Reese, he's a talented freshman, was a 4-star. As Ayala finishes through contact for an and one, but he's just not quite big enough at 6'9" in his more slender frame to guard the 7'1" Dickinson inside. As we head to the media timeout, Wolverines up 53-35, and that lead's not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're hovering right around that 18 to 20 point mark. And, you know, they did a fantastic first half, able to score the points that they needed to score. And Michigan, Coach Juwan Howard electing to go with the younger guys to come off the bench. You know, your Terrence Williams, your Frankie Collins of the world. And, you know, those two, well, Frankie Collins, a freshman, and Williams, a sophomore, you know, with Hunter Dickinson out and Brandon Johns out in the previous game, you know, they earned some serious respect against Illinois, going on the road, playing good, hard defense as the younger underclassmen of this team.
That was a very hard-fought win for Illinois. The final score may not quite indicate that as it started to slip away a little bit towards the end. I mean, with free throws and fouling at the end of the game, a lot of those tight games can start to see a lead balloon for the team that's leading at the end. But this team fought hard. They were gritty. They did not have their star player in Hunter Dickinson, and they had to change up the game plan a little bit, and they battled.
Yeah, and as a coach, looking at what Juwan Howard does, that's exactly what you want is, you know, players that are going to go to battle for you when it's necessary, you know. Players that can step up and do the dirty work. Because once you get into the Big Ten tournament, and it's looking like Michigan will likely be, you know, playing on that first or second day, they're going to need players that they can go to on the bench and rely on.
Absolutely. This is a very deep team, something that we've noted. I mean, you have talent all through. Obviously, the situation with Zeb Jackson, he's taking some time away from the team right now, and we wish him the best with whatever is happening there. But I mean, great guard depth with Buffkin and Collins, Brooks, and Devontae Jones. Nice interior depth with a great trio of Johns and Dickinson and Diabate. And then the tweeners like Terrence Williams and even Caleb Houston, who can play that 3 or 4 spot.
Yeah, all the ingredients are there. It's now just time for Chef Howard to mix it up and, you know, figure out which ones work best for that.
And we've even seen guys like Kobe Buffkin and Jace Howard, especially in that Illinois game, getting a little bit more tread and showing off that they have the talent and the ability to hang with all these guys and be right there. As the wrestling team gets a shout out here at Crisler, they have a big dual match, I believe, against Penn State this Friday, 6 o'clock. Encourage anyone that's able to come out and see it. I know one of my roommates will be there. As Ayala at the line, looking to complete his 3-point play. 14:44 remaining. Knocks it home. 36 now for the Terrapins, 53 for the Wolverines, as they bring some full court pressure, and the Wolverines slice through it with ease. As maybe not so fast as that ball back to Jones once they'd already cleared half court is knocked away by Fats Russell. Wolverines retain possession.
Yeah, we just talked about Kobe Buffkin, and look who's checking in right now.
I love Kobe Buffkin's game. He's just so crafty and slippery when he gets into the lane. As he has it on the wing. Dickinson in the middle. He'll turn around and shoot a mid-range shot from the free throw line and knocks it down.
Yeah, good ball movement there by the Wolverines when they got stuck into a zone, Maryland playing zone, just moving the ball around really quickly, and then Dickinson from the free throw line.
And getting into the middle of that zone, that soft spot as Ayala pulls another three. That one rims out. Dickinson able to expose that with his shooting touch that he's really, really worked on in the offseason. And we see him pull a three, a little short on that one. But adding that three-point touch to Hunter Dickinson's game, what does that do for this offense?
Whichever player can add that to their game is going to be huge. It opens up a lot of opportunity.
And obviously, thinking about the next level, which is something Hunter Dickinson is definitely potentially on his horizons. Adding that three-point jump shot is key to impressing scouts at the next level. When Hunter decides to go about that decision.
Yes, Terrence Williams checks back into this game. He played 6 minutes in that first half, got 1 steal, no other stats to credit to him.
Terrence Williams, guy with high energy, can score points in bunches at times as the Terrapins really moving around the ball, getting into the hands of Ayala. Ayala backing down Williams, step back mid-range, it's good. Great move by Eric Ayala as Fats Russell knocks away that inbound to Devontae Jones. Eric Ayala has really turned up the heat in this second half.
Yeah, he's up to 15 points now, and, his partner there, Scott, staying stagnant. So if those two can get a combination going together, cut this lead down to 10 with about 10 minutes left, it could be an interesting end to this game.
Yeah, Scott and Ayala combined for 31. The rest of the Terrapins, 7. 55-38, 13 minutes remain. Wolverines moving it around the perimeter. Dickinson, another mid-range shot. Another 2 points to his name as the Wolverines increase their lead. Now up to 19. And Dickinson, talking about Ayala turning up the heat in the second half. How about Hunter Dickinson? He is continuing to punish the Terrapins in every which way as Ayala steps back again. No good. And Dickinson just tips it up into the air. Rebounded by Reese. Foul called on Terrence Williams as he knocks it away from Reese. And that will be the second on Terrence Williams. Terrapins will inbound from the sideline. Excuse me, from the baseline.
I wonder how long Coach Howard decides to leave Eli Brooks on the bench right there.
Yeah, something to consider as the Wolverines have a big lead, getting some of these younger guards some run in game situations with some of the starters. As an offensive foul is called, a legal screen on number 24, Dante Scott, leading scorer for the Terrapins so far today.
Here comes back Frankie Collins. Watching him in pregame warm-ups, this kid's got some bounce, bro.
Frankie Collins is exciting to watch, and I just can't wait till he shows off that athleticism.
There's a lot of talent on this team, a lot of young, good talent on this Michigan roster.
As Collins shows it all. Oh, ball rims out as he cuts through, and Dickinson found him. Ball rolled around the entire rim there.
Yeah, just
corralled by the Terrapins. Scott continues to put the Terrapins on his back and one. Foul on Houston. As the Wolverines need to convert on those opportunities around the rim. Frankie Collins got right to the rim, skied up, and just couldn't finish. Another great find by Dickinson. Some Michigan trivia going on here at the Crisler Center. A lot of happy fans here tonight with the Wolverines up 17 with just about 12 minutes to play.
Yeah, not as great of a crowd on a Tuesday night, but decent enough. Maze Rage always coming out, always supporting the team. Rewarded with some really nice jerseys,
Absolutely.
some towels as well. So
all the students that came out tonight obviously say thank you, and they were definitely rewarded. As a young fan wins the trivia question and earns himself a little bag of Michigan merchandise, some team swag.
Yeah, we can look ahead to the Michigan schedule coming up. So after tonight, the Wolverines will hit the road on to go to Bloomington on Sunday for a 3:30 tip. You'll be blessed with me and Kelin on that call again. And, you know, Bloomington, it's one of those, like, historic venues in college basketball.
Absolutely.
What do the Wolverines really need to do in that type of venue to make it a competitive game? Because, you know, Indiana, same thing as well, similar to the Wolverines. They've shown spurts of, you know, this team can be competitive, this team can be elite, and then they'll have nights where they just get blown out by teams that they should not lose to. So, like, what's the keys to the success for the Wolverines looking ahead to the Hoosiers?
Obviously, Assembly Hall, just a historic, a great arena. Excited to be there with you, Amer, on the call. Should be a great time. The last time the Wolverines played Indiana last year, Trace Jackson Davis, the Hoosiers' best player, was held in check. Wolverines are going to need to do that again if they want to win. As the tennis team is out on the court, just hucking T-shirts every which way.
Last time I was here as a student or as a fan next to the broadcast up here, and there was a shirt that was shot up, and it just missed my hands, barely. And, you know, Jared Greenspan, he won't let me live that one down. It was a one-handed catch. It would have been a SportsCenter top 10 play, but, you know, the lighting in here threw me off a little bit as it got closer.
Oh, yeah, the lighting. Maybe a little bit of a draft. Somebody left the door open.
A little bit of a draft, yeah. It would have been a tough one-handed catch, but, you know, this guardrail right here, I thought it was a pass interference. You know, we can talk about the NFL referees from this past weekend. I would have thrown a flag on that one. But, you know,
a lot of flags were thrown as one T-shirt is shot into the upper deck. As it looks like they're throwing out little balls.
I'll redeem myself if we get one right here. I'll do a right-handed catch.
Just got to put your hand up, Amer. They'll find you.
I got it. I was a wide receiver in high school. Said nobody.
And Scott now at the free throw line. 57-40, 8 minutes through the second half. Crowd energized by the tennis team. Dante Scott goes through his routine, and it's pure. Terrapins keeping that full court pressure, three-quarter court pressure, as Fats Russell guards Frankie Collins. Wolverines able to knife through that. Dickinson has it at the top of the key. Kobe Buffkin on a nice backdoor cut, defended well. Trying to get it into Dickinson. Got it on that near side block as he's going to work. Shot clock running down. Little fall away is short as Julian Reese corrals the rebound, and Fats Russell will advance the ball. Fats Russell, the URI transfer. We've talked about him. He has not had his best game, as Reese will pull a three, and he knocks it down.
As he knocks down that, Eli Brooks running up to the scorer's table to get back into this one. Ayala now with 13 points. Scott with 9, all in the second half.
Yeah, for the game, I believe they're up to 15 and 17, 15 and 19. So by far bearing the brunt of the scoring load for the Terrapins.
This is kind of crazy to look at, but Hunter Dickinson has 10 points in the second half. So it's been a battle of Hunter Dickinson for the Wolverines versus Ayala and Scott for the Maryland Terrapins, and everybody else has been pretty quiet.
It's a three-man show here in this second half as the Terrapins have cut the lead down to 13. 57 to 44, 10:45 remaining. Offensive rebound for the Wolverines. Frankie Collins probing, he'll bring it back out. directing traffic, attacking, and can't finish. Fats Russell will look to push in transition. Diabate back for the Wolverines. And that layup is too strong from Russell as the Wolverines look to counter. The lob to the rim.
Whoop.
And it's finished by Frankie Collins. What a what a finish.
Alley-oop.
Couldn't throw it down. That pass was a little bit too close to the rim to dunk it, but Collins able to get up there and just redirect that ball into the rim. Fantastic finish. Talk about athleticism.
Yeah. Collins running up the far sideline up there, makes eye contact with Eli, just saying, lob it up. I'm behind my defender, and that the professor lobs it up to the freshman, and he's got some hops.
He does, and the crowd is energized off that highlight play as Scott can't get anything going on Diabate. Russell deep three, no good. Rebounded by Houston.
Good close out there by Frankie Collins, making it a tough shot, getting it done on both ends of the floor.
You can feel the energy shifting back toward the Wolverines. Terrapins went on a little bit of a run there as Dickinson able to fill it up with a little baby hook.
That's Hunter Dickinson's bread and butter, is that baby hook about 7 to 10 feet out from the basket.
Anywhere in that range, he's tough to stop. And the Maze Rage bringing the energy here. Ayala to the cup. Brooks defending, and it's blocked by Hunter Dickinson. Came from behind Ayala and it rejected it straight back into the floor.
Wolverines trying to get that momentum back in their favor as the Terrapins were close to cutting the lead down to 10.
And there's a foul by Julian Reese. Maybe a good foul to let the Terrapins settle down as the Wolverines have been at their throats. Going on a bit of a run here, extending the lead to 17, 61-44 is our score. 9:14 remaining.
So Kobe Buffkin's back in this game. Here's what's going to happen. They're going to inbound it to Dickinson. Dickinson's going to work in the post. Double team's going to come. He's going to kick it into the quarter to Kobe, and he's going to knock down the three-pointer.
Let's see, and this one is just a simple curl from Eli Brooks. Floater, no good. Rebound by Diabate. Yes, sir. And he'll throw it off a Terrapin defender to retain possession.
Before I could even finish the sentence, I was about to say, just kidding.
Yeah, Eli Brooks coming off a simple screen there from Hunter Dickinson. Opts to curl it. Couldn't hit the floater, but the hustle from Moussa Diabate allows the Wolverines to retain possession. Frankie Collins will inbound. And
nice.
Brooks just slips right through the middle of the Terrapin defense. Danny Manning cannot be pleased with that.
The Wolverines were inbounding it from right under the basket. Eli Brooks just cuts straight to the basket. Easy right-handed layup.
Multiple Terrapin defenders in the area. Brooks just walks right by him. Looks like they fell asleep. Ian Martinez attacking. And the big man from Georgetown on the fall away. It's good. Kadus Wahab settles it down for the Terrapins as they make some substitutions. Ayala will get a breather. So will Fats Russell and Julian Reese. Dickinson trying to stay hot, throws that one over Diabate as he did not have great position. Nice defense by Scott to make that a difficult catch.
A little bit too much heat on that throw by Dickinson right there.
And Frankie Collins will ride Ian Martinez up to half court. Right on his hip. Brooks guarding Hart. As Diabate looks to defend Scott. Scott gets him on the pump fake. Blocked by Dickinson again. As the ball is sent careening out of bounds, Wolverines.
Yeah, referees letting him play right there. There was a lot of contact under the basket. And, they just let him play.
Hunter Dickinson getting it done on both ends this half. 2 blocks in these last couple possessions.
Yeah, second half, Hunter Dickinson now up to 12 points, 6 of 9 from the field, 2 defensive rebounds, 1 on the offensive side, and as you mentioned, 2 blocks. So, filling up the stat book, and we've mentioned it, and we'll mention it again. It's like just beating a dead horse. And now it's like Hunter Dickinson, he's on that, NBA radar. Does he go to the NBA? Does he stay? He's a talented player. He's gonna get his points. It's just who's gonna be that guy that's gonna step up with him tonight. It seems like it's Moussa Diabate and Caleb Houston.
Yeah, and Dickinson, not the most athletic of big men in the world of college basketball, but that's not his game. He thrives on having that soft interior touch, extending his range to the three-point line. He's shooting it at a nice clip from distance. Has shown his ability to hit from mid-range as well, and his great playmaking ability. So he really is an all-around offensive threat. Maybe not quite the lob threat in transition that some of these other big men are, but he does possess a touch that few do at this level. It looks like Ayala will be checking back into the game for the Terrapins.
Yeah, taking a look around the college football landscape, you got the Ohio State Buckeyes up 64-35 over IUPUI. Kansas and Oklahoma in a very tight battle. Oklahoma now up 52-48 over the Kansas Jayhawks. That'd be an upset, as the Jayhawks has number 7. You got Butler taking on UConn. UConn, yeah, and really charged of that game.
Porter Moser for Oklahoma making some changes there, looking to take that program to the next level.
You got Kansas and Texas just tipping off. Kansas State up 6-5. Not too much going on in college basketball tonight, but we can mention that team up the road losing to the Northwestern Wildcats at home.
Absolutely, huge game for Sparty. Unable to get that one, and the Wildcats have played a lot of teams really close this season, getting some big-time upsets. Terrapins able to beat the Wildcats, but took them to overtime. Big Ten has a lot of good teams, a lot of deep teams that are capable of pulling off upsets.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at the
outside of maybe Nebraska.
At the top 4, you got Illinois 6-1 in the conference, Wisconsin 5-1, Michigan State 5-1, Ohio State 5-2, Purdue 4-2, Rutgers 4-2.
Rutgers is a team to look out for. I mean,
yeah.
Obviously everyone knows about the insane buzzer beater to knock off Purdue, but yeah. They're a talented team making the tournament last year, bringing back that core of Geo Baker and Ron Harper Jr.
Mm-hmm. And then all the way at the bottom, lonely Nebraska.
I think at least I personally took a little bit too much from that Nebraska game. Maybe needed to take more of an account into who the opponent was. As we're back in game action, Dickinson taking the ball up to beat the press. Ball's poked away. Turnover forced by the press. Ball in the hands of Scott, and why not? Leading scorer for the Terrapins. And they're going to have it at the top of the key. It's Hart finding Ayala. Ayala pump fakes. It's Wahab, no good. And rebound off of the Terrapins. Official signaling Michigan possession.
Yeah, the way Hunter Dickinson reacted, it looked like it was going to be off of his foot, which is what I thought initially up here as well. But
I thought the same thing.
Referees giving the ball back to the Wolverines, and you got Frankie Collins now playing the point.
Collins running the show here with Kobe Buffkin as his running mate in the backcourt. Eli Brooks in the game as well. Ooh. Big men Diabate and Dickinson. Nice pass by Collins as Hunter Dickinson gets one of his easier buckets on the day.
That was a nice drive by Frankie Collins. He got his defender to bite, broke his ankles, and then just drives in, lays it off to Dickinson, and Dickinson, another 2 on the board.
On a silver platter for his star big man, making his life easy. Scott fall away on the baseline, no good. Rebound by Buffkin. Kobe will push in transition. Kobe straight to the bucket, throws it up, can't get it to fall. Rebound, Diabate. Musa Diabate on the follow. Offensive rebounds. That's the type of energy he provides to this team.
Yeah, and it all started with Kobe Buffkin getting that defensive rebound. And he saw a lane, and he was going to take it. Nobody was going to stop him.
And it's Wahab finding Ayala. Ayala will step it back. Attack on Brooks. He'll fall away and get it to go. Nice mid-range fall away by Eric Ayala. Score is 67-48, just under 6 minutes to go here. Wolverines looking to put this one away as Collins goes right to the rim. Nice reverse finish. Spitting it off the glass, Frankie Collins. A little bit of English on that one, Amer.
Put that one on the demo reel for Frankie Collins. That was nice.
Great touch by the freshman finishing inside. Wahab looking to go over Dickinson. He can't. Scott nearly had a highlight reel putback finish. Won't go though. Brooks taking it the other way. Buffkin to Dickinson. And the whole Terrapins bench is sweating this matchup. As, what do you know? Hunter Dickinson on a baby hook from the block.
And then Hunter Dickinson with a little bit after, with his left hand saying, oh, this man's a little bit smaller than me.
A little bit little.
A little bit little. Can't stop Hunter Dickinson.
Ayala step back, no good. Buffkin corrals that one.
Dickinson now with 21 points. Six rebounds. Does he get that double-double?
I don't know if he'll get the playing time to finish that out. Tremendous defensive game so far for the Wolverines, holding the Terrapins to 48, under 5 minutes to go in the game. 71 for the Wolverines.
Coach Howard getting teed up right there. Very displeased with the referee's call right there. He was right on that ref's ear. He let him hear it. He was going to get a technical. This might be more of a tone setter type of thing by Juwan Howard, showing his team that I'm not giving up on you guys. You got to love it. If I'm a player, I love it. I love seeing my coach, regardless of what the score is, regardless of how the season's been, always being in the moment. And,
Student section not happy with the technical, and they let Ayala hear it on that free throw, missing the first. Ayala, a pretty solid free throw shooter. Cans the second. 71-49. Wolverines minutes away from finishing this one off. Looking pretty unlikely that the Terrapins will be able to crawl back. Although you really do never know in the world of college basketball. We've seen crazier.
So you're saying there's a chance.
With this defensive showing so far, though, from the Wolverines, I don't anticipate anything crazy happening. Fats Russell looking to attack. Gets a screen from Reese. Reese will pull a three. He's good again. Julian Reese knocks down his second three-pointer of the night. He's 2 for 2, the only Terrapin that's really shot it that well from deep. Ayala's knocked down a couple of them as well. And Devontae Jones into the game, just going to slow it down. Find Houston in the corner. Bang! Caleb Houston drills it from the corner, his third three-pointer of the night. Fighting fire with fire as Russell knifes right through the lane for the deuce. Quick bucket. Still down 20, though, are the Terrapins. Under 4 minutes to go. Wolverines going to look to take their time here, get a good shot. Really milk down this clock. Out to Frankie Collins. He'll hoist a three. No good. And that ball will travel out of bounds. Terrapin ball as we hit our final media timeout of the evening. Amer, looking into the future for the Wolverines, a lot of big games coming up on this schedule. They're not in a position where they're a lock for the tournament by any means at this point. What do the Wolverines need to do to secure that spot come March?
Well, you can just look at their schedule right now, and the only certain one we could say, and you knock on wood when you say certain, is Nebraska, and that's a home game, February 1st. After they go to Indiana, and then they play Northwestern back here at Crisler, and then they go to Michigan State. Michigan State at the Breslin Center on a Saturday. That could be.
That place is going to be rowdy.
Yeah, it's going to be rowdy, and
whenever Big Brother comes to town, they make sure to show out in numbers.
Seeing, you go off of the Illinois game, and you go off the game tonight. The Wolverines were able to play really good defense. They have really good energy on the defensive side of the ball. They need to continue that. They need to keep building on this defensive momentum that they're doing. Force your opponent into a tough shot. Always putting a hand up. And if they knock it down, a tough shot, so what? You play good defense. But
you live with the results.
Yeah,
process.
For them, for Michigan, they got to be able to, keep shooting behind the arc. because when they play against teams like Illinois or Michigan State, Purdue, where they're good enough to realize that, hey, this offense runs through Hunter Dickinson. And once a team exposes that and they shut Hunter Dickinson down, what's your B and C plan? Who are those players that have to step up? That's really key, and I don't think we have an answer to that just yet as to who's the guy that's going to step up when Hunter Dickinson is getting double and triple teamed.
Because on last year's team, you had bona fide dudes that could go and get. You had you had a Isaiah Livers that could go and get you a bucket, a Franz Wagner who could go and get you a bucket, Mike Smith, who especially toward the end of the season turned into more of that role as well for the team. And as though there's a lot of really solid, really talented role players around Hunter Dickinson, I'm not sure how many of these guys are guys you give the ball to and you say, go get me. Kickball violation. Wolverines retain. And this game is all but over at this point. Just need that final buzzer to sound. Terrence Williams on the attack. Back out to Collins. Frankie dishes it out to Kobe Buffkin. Airballs the corner three. And it can't be corralled by the Wolverines. Just under 50 seconds left. The student section chanting goodbye to the Terrapins as the clock continues to run down. Julian Reese. And the Terrapins able to get to the rim and one. Great finish around the rim there by the Terrapins. That was number 0 for the Terrapins, Marcus Dockery. Simon Wright also into the game. And one free throw, no good, rebounded by Terrence Williams. Just under 30 seconds now. Wolverines try to dribble this one out, presumably. Juwan Howard calling off the Dogs. As the final score for this one looks to be 80-64. Your Michigan Wolverines, as Jace will pull a three, knocks it down. Jace Howard, scratch that, make that 83-64. Nearly half court shot goes for the Terrapins. 83-64 is your final score from the Crisler Center here in Ann Arbor. Amer, any final thoughts?
It's exactly what the Wolverines needed. A solid 19-point win over a struggling Maryland team. And, could this be a turning point when we look back? It could be potentially. They needed this win. Now they need to continue this, heading to Bloomington this Sunday, where your WCBN crew, me and Kelin, will have that for you guys. But, just a solid execution. We don't want to look too much into this game other than it's a solid 19-point victory. Whenever the ball is thrown up against a Big Ten team, it's always tough to get a win. We saw what Michigan State did, or didn't do, to be exact, against Northwestern. So, every time it's 50-50. So they just got to continue that, and they still have to find who is their go-to when Hunter Dickinson gets, knocked out of a game. When defenses can, get a good defensive scheme against Hunter and, keep him to under 10 points. I mean, tonight he had 21 points. 23 points,
I believe.
We'll
And this is a textbook game for the Wolverines. WCBN will have coverage this Thursday of the women's game at 7 against Wisconsin. Big game for the women's team, who has looked tremendous this year as they just came off of a huge upset win on the road against Maryland.
Yeah, the women's team is doing fantastic basketball, man. Look at what Maddie Nolan did.
Maddie Nolan shot the lights out.
She was
shot the lights
fire.
out in College Park.
God, I would have loved to hear Mike Breen just go bang, bang. It's just fantastic. Women's basketball, they're really good this year. They got solid wins. Going against a Maryland team on the road that was one of the favorites to win it all this year.
Absolutely.
It's a solid victory. Shout out to Kim Barzarico and her crew, Naz Hillman, Leah Brown, all those players just doing fantastic basketball.
Well, for myself and Amer and Zach, I'd like to wish you all a good night and go blue.
No, we're off.